Effectively engaging diverse talents, a playbook for productive geographically distributed project groups. Abstract. The modern workplace is becoming increasingly global and complex, requiring effective collaboration across geographical and cultural boundaries. However, global teams face unique challenges that local teams do not, such as communication barriers, cultural differences, and building trust remotely. This paper provides a practical guide for working successfully on global teams. It discusses best practices for cross-cultural communication, navigating cultural differences, developing virtual trust, and leading global teams effectively. The article emphasizes that by understanding and applying these principles, professionals can optimize their performance and experience when collaborating on international projects. Ultimately, the ability to work productively across cultures and distances is increasingly imperative for careers and organizations in today's interdependent world. With the appropriate frameworks and strategies, global teams can surmount the challenges of cross-border collaboration and capitalize on expanding global opportunities. The modern workplace is becoming increasingly global and complex as organizations expand their operations across borders. As a result, team collaboration that crosses geographical and cultural boundaries is commonplace. However, global teams face unique challenges that local teams do not. Effective communication, understanding cultural differences, and building trust are especially important yet difficult aspects of global teamwork. Today, we will provide a practical guide for working successfully on global teams. By understanding and applying the principles discussed, professionals can optimize their performance and experience when collaborating on international projects. Cross-cultural communication is the lifeblood of any team, yet becomes far more complex in global contexts due to linguistic and cultural divides. Masnevsky and Chudoba. 2000. Research suggests the following approaches can help maximize effective cross-cultural communication. Be mindful of communication style differences. In low-context cultures like the U.S., communication tends to be very direct and explicit. Meanwhile, high-context Asian and Latin cultures rely more on implicit, indirect styles. Hall, 1976. Being aware of such variances is important to avoid misunderstandings. Clarify intended meanings. Given the increased potential for misinterpretation, double-check that your intended message was understood as intended across cultures and languages. Matveev and Nelson. 2004. Asking clarifying questions can prevent assumptions. Use visual communication tools judiciously. While visual aids like documents, presentations, and drawings can help convey information, their interpretation may differ markedly by culture. Relying too heavily on visuals risks missing nuances best expressed through discussion. Heinz et al. 2014. Create common communication norms. Global pharmaceutical firm Novartis convenes its international marketing teams regularly to align on guidelines for discussions, status updates, and deliverables. Standardizing certain practices across the team fosters better cohesion and productivity over time. For global companies in industries like technology, establishing clear global communication standards early on is critical for seamless collaboration as teams expand into new regions. Regular trainings on approaches like active listening can also help diverse team members understand each other. Navigating cultural differences in work styles. Norms and expectations often stem from underlying cultural variances that global teams must learn to navigate productively. Early and Mosakowski. 2004. Some key cultural factors to consider include power distance. In high-power distance cultures, hierarchies are respected and direction from upper management is expected. Low-power distance Western cultures prefer flatter structures allowing for more debate. Individualism vs. collectivism. Individualistic cultures prioritize personal goals and accountability. Collectivist Asian and Latin cultures emphasize group needs, consensus, and loyalty to the team. High versus low context communication, as discussed above. Some cultures prefer explicit, direct exchanges, while others rely more on contextual and nonverbal information. Time orientation. Monochronic Western cultures compartmentalize time strictly. Polychronic cultures in parts of Asia, Africa, and Latin America have a more flexible attitude toward schedules and deadlines. To ease cultural differences in sectors like engineering and construction, global companies will conduct tailored cultural trainings. These aim to raise mutual understanding so, for instance, individualistic Western team members don't mistake collaborative Asian styles as lack of initiative. Pairing culturally diverse mentors also fosters organic learning across borders. Developing virtual trust compared to co-located teams. Global virtual teams face a steeper challenge in establishing the baseline trust needed for open knowledge sharing and coordination. Javanpar and Liedner. 1999. Key strategies for cultivating trust in these environments include: help team members get to know each other personally. Organize optional video calls solely for social interaction so personalities and faces behind screen names become familiar. This humanizes distant colleagues. Ensure technological competence and reliability. In industries like online education, transparent communication and quick resolution of any IT issues is important to build confidence in tools enabling collaboration. Share credit and successes widely. Just as credit should not be concentrated among a few individuals, neither should responsibilities when issues arise. This reinforces interdependence vital for trust. Be transparent about capabilities. Clarifying expertise upfront through shared skill matrices prevents unrealistic expectations and prevents reputations from being damaged by minor mistakes. Over-communicate during initial projects. Frequent, informal check-ins beyond just task updates help virtual strangers perceive teammate motivations more accurately until stable working relationships form. Adopting measures like these can help offset the lack of in-person interaction that otherwise inhibits trust formation for remote global project teams in sectors spanning finance to engineering. Extra effort in the beginning pays off with stronger long-term partnerships. Leading global teams as team leader. The following leadership best practices can maximize your global team's performance according to research. Set clear expectations. Clearly define objectives, deliverables, decision protocols, and each person's role at the outset to establish structure vital for diverse team effectiveness. Masnevsky and DiStefano. 2000. Balance involvement. Monitor work evenly but without micromanaging due to cultural preferences for autonomy. Adjust involvement based on task complexities to optimize productivity for industries like manufacturing versus creative services. Promote social bonds. For teams in fields like consulting, sponsor optional social activities both within and across cultures and time zones. Social cohesion lubricates task collaboration. Accommodate differences sensitively. Address culture-linked variances in work styles respectfully through discussion rather than judgment. Mediate cultural tensions diplomatically to maintain harmony. Distribute leadership. Tap various members' cultural perspective on decisions and encourage leadership input from all nations represented. Irresolute. 2013. This boosts buy-in, motivation, and loyalty to outcomes. Leading with flexibility, cultural awareness, and inclusiveness sets global teams up for success across borders in any industry. Nuanced, empathetic leadership helps diverse talents combine forces cohesively for top business results. Conclusion: in today's interdependent world, the ability to work productively across cultures and distances is increasingly imperative for careers and organizations. While global collaboration poses distinctive hurdles, the appropriate frameworks, strategies, and leadership can help teams surmount these challenges. with proper understanding and application of best practices for areas such as communication. Navigating variances, building trust virtually and multiculturally skilled leadership. Professionals can maximize performance on international projects spanning entire industries. Following the guidance discussed equips individuals and companies worldwide to capitalize on expanding global opportunities.